Hi, it's Phil Lindsay here with Peep Magazine, and we're here with Matt Jobs at the Rain Meadows Arena, just over a week ahead of your man Sam Best's 5th fight. Yep. He's fighting on the undercard of Martin Ward against James Jazza Dickens for the British title. Yep. From what I've been hearing, yeah, exactly, I'm looking forward to the whole night, but obviously from your perspective, from what I've been hearing, things have been going very well with Sam.
Yeah, a lot different of his last training camp or his last fight. Unfortunately, the last one, he had an ankle injury, which he picked up in spawn, so he had very little spawn for that, very little pad work and things like that. This time round, he's had a good training camp from word go. He's been absolutely getting some really top class spawn as well. He's been up to Scotland, spawn with David Brophy, and he's been doing some movement with Jordan King as well. So he's had good spawn for this one. His training camps went absolutely brilliant. No injuries, no niggles, nothing.
Which is a rarity. There's normally at least some niggles go at some point, isn't there?
Yeah, so just fingers crossed that nothing happens from now till next Friday.
Positive thinking. Positive thinking, Matt, yeah. So it's going to be his 5th fight. Do you know who he's going to be? It's going to be Andy Nailon, is that right?
That's right, yeah. There's not much out there on the lad. As far as I'm aware, he's tall. He's 6'2". He's fought a lad called Grant Quigley as well from Scotland, who Sam's done some spawn with as well. Another top lad. Expect big things of him as well in the future. Grant stopped him within 2 rounds, but take nothing for granted.
Yeah. See what I did?
Pun. But no, I take nothing at all for granted. Every fighter's got a punch in them, so Sam will have to be sharp. But hopefully the spawn that he's had leading up to this fight will prepare him for that, because he's not going to get really better spawn in the northeast England than the 2 lads he's been with.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously Sam's lost a lot of weight from what he used to be compared to what he's boxing at now, and he's still boxing at light heavy, and that's going to be his continued weight. He's not going to be coming down any further, or
we've got things planned for next year where I think we're going to keep him at light heavy for his next 3 fights after this one, and then see
and monitor things.
Yeah, and I think at the minute I was saying before there that at the minute it's hard keeping weight on Sam. It's he could easily make 12 stone, no problem whatsoever. So basically, I think we'll have a good look at him again after the new year, and see where we're going to go with that. But for the foreseeable future, I think we're going to keep him at 12-7, and then after the next 3 fights next year, we'll see how he goes in them fights. Because there's a few opponents out there who I'll be working with Phil on to get for next year for him, because I'm going to step up the rounds as well. I think 4 rounds are no good for Sam anymore. I think it's time to step up to 6 and 8 rounds.
It's fine for the first few fights to get the camps in,
that's right,
and to work on those things, but it's the fights that are coming out over the early next year, those when you start wanting to give them certain tests.
That's
and
right.
Tick certain boxes.
I mean, to say the last fight he had with Mitch Mitchell, for where Sam is at the moment in his career, I thought that was a massive test.
Yeah.
Remember as well, the second fight that he had, he got in with Steve Cooper, who was another massive test for him at that time.
Yeah. He was 2-0 at the time.
Yep, and he's come through both these tests, and I believe he boxed okay against Mitch, but I still think if the camp had went better coming up with that, he would have seen a better performance on the night. But I think he done really well in that fight, considering that he only had 1 week spawn because of these injuries.
Well, at one stage he was possibly going to have to come out with the fight.
That's right, yeah. We're really close to pulling him out, but obviously we got through that, and he went on, and I thought he boxed really well that night. So, but this time round, I think you'll see a different character altogether. I think you'll see a lot more sharpness there. Everything behind that nice fast jab of his. Everybody knows he's got a cracking right hand. But
especially some of his opponents.
Definitely, I think Lyndon will vouch for that one. But it's he's a lot more than that. He's a really tidy boxer. So.
Well, I think he had to prove that against Steve Cooper, because Steve Cooper went in there and the shot wasn't there, wasn't presented, so he had to box, and he had to do it differently to what he had done previously. That's
right, yeah. And like I say, he did prove on that night that he can box, and he can box for the 4 rounds as well. Fitness isn't an issue with Sam. You've got to drag him out of the gym kicking and screaming some nights. He's a perfectionist, you know, and when he commits to something, he does commit 100%, and he's training kind of fault a lot. You know, he listens and he puts everything in practice, and if it keeps on going the way it is, you know, I hope he'll have a good career in the sport, which I dare say he will have.
Yeah, you can't look too far ahead, but you do have to sort of map the future out. And it sounds like you've got a few things in place, or at least things planned for next year and where you're going to be taking them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. At the end of the day, remember, Sam's a human being before he's a boxer, you know. And I've worked with Sam from being 16-year-old, you know. And I'm not going to.
22 now.
He is, yeah. I'm not going to rush Sam in there.
There's no need at 22.
Not at all. You know, I've got to look after him as well as find opponents where it's going to push him up the ladder a bit quicker. You know, it's sometimes you've got to say, well, hold on, we'll just rein you back a little bit.
He gets up the ladder. The rate he gets up the
That's
ladder,
right.
there's different fighters do it at different speeds. It's not a race.
No, it's not.
No. You've got to tick the box before you go up the next
That's right.
road.
It is. It's always best to walk before you run, and let him feel what the pro game's all about, which I think he's doing, and I think he's absolutely relishing it.
He's doing great.
He is really good. Really pleased with him.
Well, let's hope and let's be positive about it. But let's hope for a positive end to 2015 and a bright and exciting 2016 ahead.
Hopefully.
And we'll come down and see you at the gym shortly.
Yes,
Matt Jobs.